and we'll come to the last part, which is being sensitive. Be sensitive. Be sensitive.
That is forehead.
Forehead. Be sensitive. Be sensitive. When Pharaoh took in Sarah, the Bible, they brought in a beautiful woman, and ugly things started happening in the house. Be sensitive. The Bible makes us to understand that, and the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plague because of Sarah, Abraham's wife. Sarah became an accosting in his house because she was somebody else's wife. How sensitive are you? Have you been able to trace where things went wrong? What came into your life and your life scattered? It was just Sarah that they brought in, that they are planning to do official to marry. When they discovered that, it is when this woman came that everything went haywire here. Let us return her. And the Egyptians are very knowledgeable people. Don't underestimate Egypt. Egypt is a house of knowledge. That is why God ensured that Moses was trained in Egypt. I'm sure Pharaoh called out the wise men and said, since this woman came into my house, I noticed things have not been happening well. Check. Always narrow down where things went wrong. Brainstorm, sit down. People hate to think, but you need to think to fix your life. If you want your life to change, you have to sit down, think back, check where things went wrong, and fix it. And they must have told Pharaoh, the wise men, that, let the pretty woman go. She's not that man's sister. She is that man's wife. And he called Abraham. Why did you do this to me? I might have taken her as my wife. He has not taken her as his wife yet. So I'm emphasizing it for those teaching error. Painting Mama Sarah as I don't know, Sha. Let us leave it at that. I might have taken her as my wife. Now, therefore, here is your wife. Take her. Go your way. Separate yourself from anything that can destroy you, like we said during the video. If the Autumn King, a man who doesn't know the God who is high, understand the concept of doing away with an accosting, a thing that can destroy his life, why should you, a child of God, not brainstorm and find out what brought problem into your life and depart from that thing that brought problem into your life? And be sensitive is the message. Be sensitive. Be sensitive. Be sensitive. Be quick to detect and respond to changes or signals or influences around you. You have a friend. Since it became your friend, bad luck started following you. Separate yourself so that you return to your position of enjoying good luck. There's no sentiment about this. If Pharaoh had been obstinate and he did not act, I'm sure he would have lost his story, lost his life, lost everything. In fact, it wouldn't have happened in Genesis. Exodus. We would have read about a Pharaoh that died in Genesis. So please protect your life. For every time you're sensitive, you are preserving your life. For every time you're sensitive, you are preserving your life. Do away with objects of sin, and the plague will stop. Pharaoh summoned Abraham to address the moral fraud. Please, even though this is not part of the outline, I want us to quickly take note of two things. So I'll tag lessons. I'll call them part 5, lessons. Study. Add this part 5 to the study in the outline. Always address moral fraud. Always address moral fraud. One of the greatest problems of mankind is that we sweep things under the carpet. We don't talk over things. Look at verse 18. That was an Autumn King corrected a man of God in question. So why do you shy away from correcting ills? Why? When you shy away from correcting ills, you are not helping the other party. When you show people their faults, their problem, you help them to become better. What the Bible says is that correct in love, chastise in love. So take note, always address issues, especially moral fraud. Anything that has to do, any kind of negativity, address it. People run away from correction. I don't want to talk. I don't want to look like a bad person. You are not helping the person. And even you, in your heart is not free. Because you still, when you talk over matters, you release emotional burden. But when you bottle up emotional burden, someday there will be an outburst that will be uncontrollable and damaging. So always address issues, especially moral fraud. I'm sure, well, I wanted to say I'm sure Father Abraham will not repeat it, but he repeated it, yeah? But it was his own growing level. That was his own weakness. But he eventually overcame it because he repeated the same thing during another famine with King Abimelech. I think Genesis 20. But that is not the issue. That said Abimelech to address the issue with him. Any weakness you have that people consistently address, take note, change before it is too late. Secondly, treat in-laws nicely. Treat in-laws nicely. Your relationship with your in-law relationship. That is the second thing I said I wanted to point out that wasn't part of the outline. In-law relationship. Treat in-laws well. You see that in verse 16. And he treated Abraham well for our sake. You go and marry from a place, or you intend to marry from a place, and you treat the people like rubbish. It doesn't work that way. If you read Genesis 24, even before they married Rebekah, see all the gifts Eliezer gave to the family. Before the marriage and after the marriage, be nice to your in-laws. A woman you are married to that you are not nice to her family, can she be happy in your house? Or if you marry a woman, she doesn't like your family, will you be happy? So it's both ways. The woman should like her in-laws, the man should like his in-laws. And we have come to the end of the Sunday school. God bless us in Jesus' name.